Hello, good evening, welcome back. We've got some additional pumpkins back here. We've got an old dog named Arthur right here. And we've got two birds snuggling off camera who hopefully won't be loud or intrusive. And I need, pretty please, a helpful volunteer. Hey, yeah, you. It's like he knew. Um, a helpful volunteer to let me know that I have tea water boiling on the stove. It doesn't whistle. It broke. The whistling one, that is. So somebody please remind me. Okay, so you guys, if you're in here, thank you for being here. Obviously you're here if you're here. Thanks for being here. It's really awesome that you spend some time with me either live on a Saturday night or as a replay. So if you are here, stop and thumbs up, please, and subscribe if you're not subscribed, or a thumbs down, dislike, whatever, but interact with the video, right? Interact, leave a comment, talk with us. And I'll be able to keep bringing these to you. So this video, I'm sorry, I should say audio, was obtained by a couple of YouTubers, I understand, in collaboration. The Docket, primarily, Plunder, and Grizzly. So many of you may know them, some of you may not. So go over there, and Grizzly True Crime, Plunder True Crime, and the Docket. Go ahead to bring like all kinds of unique stuff in here. Check it out. You might hear his comments. I tried to kind of chunk them out because we're not trying to respond to the Docket's comments, and we're not trying to reproduce them. You should go over there, but we're just trying to respond to some pieces. So with that said, this is an interview in April. They're going to give the exact date of this year. And the status here is that Maddie is missing. At this point, she hasn't been found. Her remains haven't been found. And Stephan is already in custody because all of the nasty stuff on his phone has been found. So she knows what's going on. And they're driving around in a car, talking, having an interview. And this is when she says some really raw stuff. And there are these moments where it's like, what? And so, oh, shoot. I have myself up. That is a long yap. No wonder I'm not getting a lot of comments through. Gathering voices, you do love to be shocked. You keep coming back. You must love to be shocked. Okay, I'm going to pin this one. So some of the things she says are like, oh, and many of us will be like, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Okay, so I really want your honest, raw reactions on this. Let's, I have like 55 seconds left for the video to finish transporting because I made some video, exporting, I should say, not transporting, like Star Trek. I'm exporting because I put together a, like a picture, a slide list for you guys. So that'll play in the background while we go over it. Meanwhile, quick replay on this case, as you might have picked up from the first interview, since we have like 50 seconds left, just an overview. This took place in Florida, Kissimmee, Florida. 13-year-old, that's the sound, 13-year-old Maddie Soto went missing, but she was actually taken by the mother's boyfriend. And he had been taking advantage of her for years, grooming for years. It was all discovered, and all this happened the day after her 13th birthday party. So this is the mom, Jennifer Soto. Some people are very familiar. Might be the first time you're hearing it. If it is, definitely go check out the playlist. But Jen Soto talking with detectives, again, right after they discover what her boyfriend's been doing, but before the remains have been found and it's confirmed that she's no longer with us. Okay, so what's horrible is the reaction of this mom. Now, I want to, from before I play this again, from the start, I want to say I'm going to do my best to put my mental health hat on. And I've been very, very, very critical of Jennifer Soto. I'm going to do my best to try to presume best intentions with her, although I might slip. She confirms in this video that she's been diagnosed with bipolar 2. And one of the reasons she's emphasizing this need for sleep is that, on these kinds of medications, your cognitive functions really decline. And so those who want to kind of flay her and whose instincts want to be like, what's wrong with you, also realize that this is a very sneaky predator who was preying on somebody who's really, really vulnerable and who wasn't cognitively really in there, like present but not present. I was talking about this in the last live, why we're talking about her at all. I mean, a lot of children go missing. They all matter. It always matters. But this girl, Maddie, has captured the hearts of the nation because she represents something to people. The neglected child. She represents the parent, the child in the situation with a parent who doesn't notice them, even though they're right in the room, and doesn't see what they're going through. So unfortunately, Maddie was never seen in life. So the best justice people can seem to give her, feel for her, is the disinfectant of sunlight after she's gone. All right, we're going to play this thing. Once I find where to export to. Is it there? No. Is it here? Yes. Here we go. So I'm going to skip through the comments and maybe skip through the part that's like just driving around shuffling papers. It's trying to add, but I'm lagged. Weird. Cannot open the project. Oh, what? There we go. There it is. Every time you'd think I'd get better at this, but no. Every time. I hope I have not lost my internet again. Or am I just super lagged? Can someone give me a pulse check? What's this video? There it is.
It is February 29th, 2024. Time is 5:09 p.m.
February 29th, 2004. This is the day before she's found.
We are at 4012 Santa Maria Drive. In reference to case number 24001809. It's myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood, and Jennifer Soto. So, to give you a little bit of what's happening now, there's a few other additional pieces of evidence that we're collecting at the time. Okay. Some of that evidence came from Stephan's phone. Okay. Some of the pictures that were on the phone. Okay. That we've identified belonging to Maddie as well. So clothing that she was wearing, that sort of stuff. Okay. That's what we're collecting. Okay. Okay.
So I gotta say, this kitty cat is really cute. That's the cat we saw peeking out through the doors, looking at the police cars. What is going on out there? He or she looks just like a cat that I was in love with named Saturday that I had for a few years. She had her.
We will leave you an evidence sheet to let you know what we took. Everything that we've taken from the house is in an evidence sheet that's going to be left here for you. Okay. It may take them a little bit because what they do is they take a picture of it, they collect it, go to the next one, take a picture of it, collect it. So it'll be a little bit, but it shouldn't be too long. Okay, so we spoke yesterday and we've got a little bit more information since the last time we spoke. Last night, I guess it would be. So I'm going to ask you to go through this again Monday morning when you were asleep. Stephan and Maddie were upstairs and she's going to school Run me through that morning again. How, like you mentioned something about you hearing noises and then you woke up.
This is when she was still sticking to the story that they took her to school. Somebody else did it. Calling Stephan's dad saying, you better get your son a lawyer.
So how exactly did that go down?
Monday morning, I was woken up by Stephan Sterns coming into my bedroom to try to put the leash on the dog. He was saying, "Here, puppy, let's go," and trying to leash him up. I got up off the bed at that moment because my dog has a tendency to pee a little bit when you're too direct and you put a leash on him. You have to like talk to him nicely and yeah. He got the leash on the dog and told me, "Okay, don't worry about it, just go back to sleep." And I said, "Okay." So I went back to sleep.
That's the laundry room to the door. We went over this last time.
I think this was around
Jen's bedroom.
I'm assuming this was around 8 o'clock in the morning because I'm assuming, he's getting ready to take her to school. He's walking the dog before he does that. Yeah. So I'm not sure what time it was, but I think it was around 8 o'clock in the morning when this happened.
Okay.
Gathering voices. Are you talking about Stephan Sterns? Does he have to talk? Does he have to talk to police? No, he doesn't. He has I'm not a lawyer, but I have a degree in criminology, actually, and background and that stuff, enough to probably teach an intro in criminology. And he does not, you do not, no one should actually, with regard to their rights, talk ever to the police without a lawyer. Now, the assumption is that if your child is missing, the only thing you're thinking about is finding them above and beyond your liberty and your rights. And so, I mean, I would think if that's what you care about more than anything else, you want help finding them. So you're going to tell people everything you could. I've seen people make the mistake of saying, "Oh, I'm going to report them missing. I'll ask for help finding them, but I'll give all this false information." And, all it does is hinder finding the kid. The only reason I think you would lie or refuse to talk if you have a missing child and you have a team of people trying to find that child would be if you have some guilty knowledge or some reason to believe that they're going to look at you instead of someone else who did it. And somehow we always see a vanishing perpetrator when people who are accused talk about this. They're never really talking about what it would look like who really would do something like this and where, we'll get into it. Why does everyone talk? Honestly, I also, people also talk because of authority. Just a simple idea that a lot of the time people who do this kind of thing has already gotten away with 1,000 other things. And they think, one, I should be responsive to authority. Two, the more innocent I look, the quicker people will leave me alone. And often that's been the case a lot of times. So they're conditioned to still behave that way. And then the last time where they slip is the time where people put a microscope on them. And then you get the collective intelligence of law enforcement, which maybe not one person or two people or whoever, maybe you can outsmart some of them, but it's hard to outsmart collective consciousness of an institution with unlimited resources. And it's hard to outsmart web sleuths too, who are going through this like much better parts than me. Like the guy who did this, right? Much better than me, an ex-detective. So you got to know they're going over this stuff. All kinds of law enforcement have channels and do this. So good reason to talk if your child's missing. Not a lot of good reason to talk to police for anything about anything without a lawyer. Other than that, in my opinion. Loved one missing, I'd say. Some sort of exigency. Like life. Something more important than suspicion. Yeah, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you're out of luck if you can't fool the third person who looks at your case file. Or they just see something that they can build upon to make an argument. That's all it takes, really.
I thought I had heard somebody in the kitchen I don't know who it could be. But yeah, I just heard sounds, but I'm not sure who it was. Who was in the kitchen? Could have been Stephan. Could have been Maddie.
Okay.
Could have been one of my roommates.
He's going to call her on this, but in the first interview, the second interview, in all the initial interviews, she says, "I saw her." She even interrupts and describes what she's wearing. And in this interview, we'll watch or listen for it. She's going to say she only was able to describe what Maddie was wearing because Maddie chose the clothes the day before. I don't think it was actually ended up what she was in, but I'm not.
When the deputies first talked to you, when you were reporting her missing,
yeah,
you remember writing a statement?
Yes.
Okay. In that statement, you say you saw Maddie.
I know. I misremembered. I did.
Okay, no, you.
Oh, my teeth.
You lied. You didn't misremember. You lied.
Okay, hold on.
I didn't see her.
This guy's comment.
Okay.
I wanted to believe I saw her, but
that's the Docket. That's the guy who got the video. I'm just going to give credit where credit's due. Yes, I agree with him. She lied.
I didn't.
But when you're talking to the deputy on his body cam, you describe what she's wearing.
Because she had picked it out the night before.
There it is.
Okay.
I told her to set up her clothes the night before to have it ready, so she was ready to go.
Did you do a interview with Fox 35 recently?
Yes.
Okay. In that interview, you say something to the effect that you don't want her to come home.
Now, does anybody remember that being said in that interview? Did she say that she didn't want Maddie to come home?
I'll tell you exactly what she said. Let me pause that. Okay, thank you for asking. And I'm glad I left that question in because I took note. She said, and she said it in a very odd way, "I don't want her to come home hurt." So there was this weird pause on that. I don't want her to come home with anything happening to her. It was like it felt wrong to people, and so their perception was that she was saying something other than what her words actually said. Play, man, play.
I didn't either, and she's kind of taken aback by it.
Do you remember that?
No. Why would I say that?
I don't know.
Rand.
That's part of the interview.
Maybe
I don't know if you listened to it or if you saw it.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Maybe when we're done with this, you can Google it and to see if you misspoke or.
I must have misspoken because that's not. I remember asking her to come home. Please come home. We miss you. I want you here. Like, please be safe. I remember saying that.
Okay. All right. I want to touch a little bit more, or go more in depth on the relationship that you have with Stephan.
Okay, now they're going to get into some, I don't know, some graphic stuff. I mean, it's not extremely graphic, but it is about their sex life and the problems with it. So just so you know, and you're prepared for it, it's about to begin.
Yeah.
Now, you said you guys have been dating for a while, and then you kind of broke up, and it's been on and off for a few years, I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah.
During that time, was he seeing anybody else?
I was told at one point sometime last year that, hey, the girl I was hanging out with, one of my coworkers,
February 29, 2024.
There was no need for the Cialis or anything
Gotcha.
like that.
Okay. Would he ever talk to you about?
I know he was having.
All right. So he is on medication. You told me he's on medication for insomnia.
Insomnia.
Can you say that right? Sleep apnea,
Yeah.
and then I believe you said ADHD.
Yeah. And also anxiety meds, I think.
Anxiety. Okay. Anything else that you can think of?
He did have, I think, a vial of, I'm not sure if it was Viagra or Cialis, but one or the other. I know he was having a hard time getting an erection or being able to enjoy getting off. And he ended.
Oh my, oh my. Let's just talk about that for a minute. Yeah, the Christmas tree, it was the end of February. I'm not saying I never decided to convert a Christmas tree to a New Year's tree to a Valentine's tree. Not saying I never did that one year, to a St. Patrick's Day tree, to a Freedom tree. I'm just saying that I at least changed the ornaments. Good evening, Jen Love. So nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. So let's see, where were we? Jen was talking about he dated one guy from Disney. The guy dated one girl is what I should say. Stephan did. Between them. And he needed Cialis to enjoy himself. And she's going to talk about why she believes that to be true. Let's listen in and you all tell us what you think.
Figuring out we couldn't figure out. He went to the doctors, tried to figure out why he was having these issues. They told him it must be something mental because physically his body's fine, should be acting normal.
Okay.
But we found out it was a side effect due to the Adderall medication he was on, that he was not able to enjoy himself sexually once he got off Adderall.
It must be something mental. I don't know if it's a side effect of Adderall. It must be. But I doubt that was really his problem, given what we know. I think she's a little bit too old for him.
For a while and was able to enjoy himself again. I think there was no need for the Cialis or anything
Gotcha.
like that.
Okay. Would he ever talk to you about what kind of porn he liked watching or anything like that?
No.
No.
Have you ever, quote unquote, watched porn with him or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
You have to think
All right,
longer
now, Maddie,
about one.
what medication did she take?
That's kind of funny to me. She had to think longer about that than whether or not they ever talked about, like, if she knew what he liked.
She was on.
The less time she thought about it, I think that was less true. Hey, welcome. Welcome, guys.
Hydroxyzine, which is a sleeping medication and anxiety medication.
Basically, Benadryl.
So that.
Basically, what that is. You don't know.
Because she suffers from really bad GI issues. She's constantly constipated. What else? She had an asthma inhaler. She had an asthma inhaler.
First time I've heard her
I can't think of any other mention.
break down. First and only time showing emotion.
Does she take that medicine to school with her?
Now, Jen is also going to list the medication she is on, and some of those medications have a real flattening effect on your emotions. Could be.
The asthma.
Sorry, guys.
The asthma medication, yes. The asthma medication, yes. The Adderall, I give to her before she goes to school. And the anxiety meds, we give it to her when she's at home.
How does she react to this medicine?
I've said this again and again. Adderall, ADHD medication induces anxiety. That is a known side effect. If you've got a kid with ADHD symptoms, which are similar to trauma symptoms, and you've got severe anxiety, you should be looking anytime you've got severe anxiety or new symptoms. You should be looking at what they're currently on, the medication, to see could they be causing any of those symptoms as side effects. Otherwise, you end up treating side effects in a circle. It's happened to me personally. It's happened to people I know. It's just ways you have to advocate for your health. So I think that this was happening to Maddie. I think she had anxiety not only from what she was going through, but because she was over medicated. They were waking her up, ADHD to wake her up, meds to wake her up in the morning, other meds to go to sleep. I understand an adult making those choices to chemically wake themselves up, go to sleep. I wake myself up with coffee. I go to sleep with a sleeping aid, but it's not, I don't think it's ever a good decision to give more than is absolutely necessary in terms of medication to a child, especially affecting their daily functioning.
How does her body react?
Real solid reason. Okay. And removing other medications doesn't solve it, right?
No side effects, no, nothing weird.
Okay.
She's not. No, I think that means she's just not attributing some things that she's experiencing to side effects. But I think she is experiencing side effects. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. We have friends meeting. I'm so glad we're doing this regularly again. I missed some folks I wasn't seeing. It's great.
And she takes it in the morning or at night?
Adderall she'll take in the morning. Hydroxyzine, the sleeping meds, or the anxiety meds, either or. Probably in the afternoon or evening time close to bed. We use them mostly for sleep aid. That would be given to her.
They're redacting some audio.
The asthma medication was used, and the GI medication was given.
Okay. And then medication that you take.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I take.
Shout out if anybody knows or has experience with any of these. She confirms that she's bipolar 2, and there's going to be, in my opinion, a shocker moment coming up very soon. I'm going to repeat, I'm serious, shocking moment. Jenna's going to reveal why she can't work and why she has PTSD. And I think when we try to put the two together and make it make sense, it's not going to. So, Munchausen, I don't know. I didn't think about that.
Ziprasidone, which is brand name is Geodon. That's for bipolar medication.
And what does this again?
I take anxiety medication, lorazepam, methimazole, which is.
Hang on. First one is Geodon, or ziprasidone. Treats mental health conditions like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder by balancing the levels of dopamine and serotonin in your brain. This is from the ziprasidone website. These substances help regulate your mood, behaviors, and thoughts. Uses and side effects from the Cleveland Clinic. Let's see what they have to say about it. Let's temporarily take this off. Okay. Treats schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. I think what it works on is anti what's the word I'm looking for when you have hallucinations? Anti-hallucinogen kind of thing. Okay, so I've got to skip down to find what if I miss a dose interaction? What should I watch for while taking this medication? Okay. Serious skin reactions. I think that can justify any of it. Drowsiness and dizziness. It's a sedative reaction. You can have sedated reaction. Don't stand or sit up quickly. Again, sun sensitivity. Blood sugar increases. It can destabilize your blood pressure or blood sugar and blood pressure. And then, this sucks. Problems with controlling your body temperature. So that could be reasons why again, I started this video, I say we're going to reach from a mental health perspective and see, give her all the benefit of the doubt. It can lower your response to heat, to body heat. You overheat. So you can easily overheat. So if she's saying she has problems with sleeping, okay. That's a real serious sleep problem. At least I've experienced it. Okay. I lost my place. Heart rhythm changes, and that'll give you anxiety if you don't already have it. High blood pressure, low blood pressure, fever, high fever, blood pressure, high prolactin levels. Again, that's something I've had before. Chills, pain, swelling, all kinds of nasty things. Hallucinations, exactly what it's supposed to prevent. Nausea, upset stomach, weight gain. Okay, so we know just that one medication has nasty side effects. Okay, so these are things that, if we're trying to make it make sense, why is Jen Soto acting so damn weird? Okay, let's keep going.
Thyroid medication.
Next one.
I'm also prescribed medical marijuana.
Wait, go back.
In capsule form and flower form.
Well, no, thyroid. Okay, weed. She prescribed weed in capsule form and flower form. She said so. Okay. We know she vaped too, though, don't we?
A vitamin D medication, a really high dose of vitamin D I have to, because I had gastric sleeve surgery a few years ago, so I'm vitamin deficient, so they give me some high doses of medications to keep it.
I don't know about you, it's just, any of you, it's just one of my pet peeves. But it irritates me when people's normal vernacular is they say something that would typically be an extreme thing to say, and then they add really in there, like really high instead of high. It's, I don't know. I think she just adds it in. I think she adds words like that in a little bit on the histrionic side. Who am I to talk? I did theater. I do YouTube, right? But I feel I get that like histrionic vibe, like she's trying to like squeeze or pull out of me some reaction that I'm hesitant to give, and I don't like her for it.
My vitamins balanced. I think that's it.
Okay.
This bathroom is the roommates had said, please don't let Stephan use the bathroom. So he was going up and down the stairs. His room was upstairs, right across from these women who I just, and he would go up and down the stairs apparently in the night. I heard the interview with the roommate, and there's some bombshell stuff in there. She literally saw him with a hammer in the middle of the night and heard like that sounds. So something and weird was going on with him around 2 a.m. before 2 a.m. and power tools, she said. I don't know if we'll have time to get to that, but there is so much in this story. It just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. I mean, it is Florida. We can just throw in an alligator while we're at it.
Back to the morning that Stephan takes her to school. You said you think it's around 8 o'clock when you physically see Stephan messing with the dog?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, the dog. Okay, riddle me this. You oopsie accidentally just offed someone, maybe, and now you have a house full of roommates. You have that person, that youngin' that you're responsible for, in the room with you, and now you have to make everyone believe that you got them in the car alive and took them to school, right? This depraved human. That's the situation he put himself in. So he's trying to move her remains. What does he do? He makes a ruckus by going into her room while she's asleep and trying to leash the dog on the bed where he knows the dog pees, knowing that she'd be like, what's going on? And this is covering over the ruckus he's making with the power tool, the hammer, if what she saw was accurate, the laundry, right? That's my opinion. You tell me what you think. Why is he doing this? Why does he go in the room and make this ruckus when he's got remains to worry about? Because we know she was gone by then. Because he took her out of that house, gone.
And you don't see Maddie anywhere?
I don't.
Okay.
They never saw her that
When
morning.
Maddie gets dressed for school, like now that I've seen the inside of the house, it looks like a majority of her clothes are in that little partitioned area in the living room.
Yeah.
Does she have clothes anywhere else? Like, where would she put clothes to wear to school the next day?
Okay. Where would she get dressed? She would get dressed in her bedroom, right there, that little nook in the living room. All her clothes are there. When she takes off her clothes, her dirty laundry hamper is typically in my bathroom downstairs, and she'll just dump it in the basket. But there is no basket there right now. She's been dumping everything on the floor. I think the basket is currently being used with clean clothes, so I just wanted to keep the clean clothes and dirty clothes separated. So dirty clothes are on the floor right now. What's in the basket should be like half clean, half dirty clothes, I think.
Why do you have half clean, half dirty clothes in a basket? Well, anyway, gross. I can get behind on laundry, but that doesn't happen. I don't end up with that. I do understand having dirty laundry on the floor while you're using a basket for clean laundry. I do understand that.
Okay. When you
Yes, this is
I want to skip through the Docket's comments because, again, you can go to his page, his video for that. He procured this.
Her appointment was around 10 or something like that, 9, 10.
There's that laundry room where Stearns was doing laundry for the first time in his life that morning, covering his dirty, guilty tracks.
I think it was 10:15.
Hey guys, hold the phone, stop and like and subscribe, please, if you're not already subscribed. Give us a sub and make sure you're liking this video. So, or don't like it, right? Or dislike it. Just do some interaction. Tell the algorithm what you like and what you want. Like, or, thumbs up, thumbs down. Hi, Petey. Hello. I don't know where the little blue one went. I've got to go find him. Cooper. He's usually in the same place, but.
Yes, it was at 10:15.
Okay. So you go to this appointment, and on your way back, did you talk to Stephan on the phone at all?
I know I talked to him while I was in the parking lot waiting for my blood work to happen. I just don't recall if I called him on my way home as well. It would seem like I would do that, but I just can't 100% tell you if I did do that or not.
Okay.
I heard him.
At what time?
He's never gone anywhere else. I don't know. Well,
Time did you and him meet back up here?
Cooper. One day.
So I got back from my blood work appointment anytime between, let's say 11:15, 11:30, so sometime around that time.
And was he already here?
Yes.
Okay. What did you guys talk about when you got home?
What happened?
So here they're showing us photos of the minor wounds on his hands, and where she was found was on the other side of a razor wire fence. And so what he had to do, since his dumb criminal's car, both of his tires got shredded from driving off good, I'm glad, from driving off the road into this area. And he had to lift and put her remains over this barbed wire fence. I don't know. I have no idea how he did it. Did you guys see where the blue one went? Like, I'm missing one bird. I'm down a bird.
Happened this morning.
What did he say? What happened this morning?
He's like, we had a good morning. We made really good time. Maddie got ready.
Also, keep in mind if defensive wounds are going to look at that because he strangled her, right? I have a hard time not making gestures. Sometimes it kind of, the signs that suggest what I know they did. I get in my head, but he strangled her, and that's her cause of death released, and her hyoid bone was broken. So we can imagine it was not gentle, right? It would have been like a slow process. It would have been a snapping process. Violent.
Super quick. We were out the door super quickly. I was super impressed with our time. I tried convincing Maddie to go have McDonald's breakfast a few times, but she changed her mind.
Now, okay, second riddle, right? You're trying to explain to avoid any questions you might get about why this seems suspicious. That he was up and out and no one saw her. And dropped her off so early. And neither of us had phones. So this is him getting in front of it.
And decided she didn't want to. She just wanted to sleep in the car. And the thing is, the night before, we had discussed, Maddie, maybe he should leave a little bit earlier than normal so that you can go get breakfast with him at McDonald's. That would be a really cool day to start a Monday.
And this is the crap they found in his car. And yeah, you're going to see bullets and a Luger.
Right after your birthday, having McDonald's at breakfast. And she's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So, they were supposed to have gone to McDonald's, but he told me they didn't. He told me he had left his phone because I had, no, he had already told me this earlier that he had left his phone. What else did he talk to me about?
Okay, so
I will tell you all, gang.
yeah, we're gonna skip that. She is breaking down at this point. Now, I want to know from you guys, give me your opinion. Is there anything genuine to the emotions you're seeing?
Not reset his phone. He discussed.
Oh my God, she's already not crying.
We were out the door super quickly.
What was it, 9?
I will tell you.
Is she making shit, or was he making shit up? And then, like, she's just parroting the shit.
And no, I'm talking about Jen. I'm talking about Jennifer.
Let's see what he has to say. Let's see what.
But again, I got to put a little asterisk beside it if it's true. If it's true.
We sat in my room for a while, hung out.
I'm sitting here. This is Jen's car. He took her car later that day after he brought Maddie in his car. He later went back in Jen's car, and when that was released, that her car went there, it was like, oh, everybody who thought she was guilty were like, oh, yes, she was there too. We knew it, but it was him in her car.
He discussed having to reset his phone even though he didn't want to, or no, not reset his phone. He discussed needing to update his phone because he's been avoiding an update for so long. But I think it's time to do it. And I said, just do it. Stop avoiding it. Just do it. And he started the update, and then through the update, he's like, oh my God, I don't know what button I pressed, but I just factory erased my entire phone. And I said, that was stupid. How'd you manage to do that? He goes, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, and I just clicked the button, and it happened. And I said, oh, okay, that's unfortunate.
Or did he tell you he meant to reset his phone?
No, he didn't tell me he meant to reset his phone. He acted like and said that it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that odd?
Of course I find that fucking odd. That's suspicious as hell.
I think he's got to be in the other room. I think this is redacting. This must be. Where'd it go? Still playing. Still playing. You think it's her making it up? Yeah, she seems all too willing to cover down for him, that's for sure. All this time going by.
Channel the other day.
Okay, this is it.
At one point, you told either a deputy or officer or detectives that sometimes she leaves her phone at home when she goes to school.
Yeah.
How often do you think that is?
I would say once every few weeks.
True crime with strategic eyes. Go check him out. Go check him out.
It happens a lot. Like for me, that's a lot. She has ADHD. She's very forgetful. She'll set something down and completely forget where she said it later. Where I found her phone was on her dresser, so I'm assuming she placed it there while she was getting ready and completely forgot about it, got ready, grabbed her backpack, and left. But it was on the dresser in front of her TV. But for me, that's a normal thing for her to forget her phone.
Now, when she went, do you remember what time she went to bed on Sunday?
I sent them to bed around 11 o'clock.
Okay.
I lose my mind every time I hear that in every interview. And I was talking to somebody. He is a 37 or 38-year-old man.
Where is this?
Now, granted, I have to take into consideration that, it's fallen perfectly right into his wheelhouse. But I'm 37 or 38 years old. There ain't no woman telling me to go to bed. You can go to Hades. But ain't no woman going to tell me when I'm going to go to bed. But again, it was perfect for him.
Did you see him or her anytime after that other than in the morning? Or talk to them? Either via text or yell through the walls or...
No, nothing like that. If anything, Stephan may have come down to use the restroom.
Why wouldn't he use the restroom upstairs?
Because our roommate does not like sharing.
I'm worrying too much. Oops. What just happened? I hit a button.
Or yell through the walls or...
No, nothing like that. If anything, Stephan may have come down to use the restroom.
Why wouldn't he use the restroom upstairs?
Because our roommate does not like...
Should I be worried about this bird? He's totally disappeared. There's like nowhere for him to disappear from. He's just so chill at this hour. Like,
sharing. Our roommate does not like sharing bathrooms with men, and she asked that we don't use that bathroom. Or that he doesn't use that bathroom specifically. So we've respected her wishes, and he's been using my bathroom this whole time.
Okay. Were you supposed to work Monday?
No, I was off.
Okay. What about Tuesday?
Off. Wednesday, I was supposed to work.
And you told me you work at the front desk at Coronado Springs at Disney.
Yes.
How long have you worked there?
Less than a week.
Okay. Did you work anywhere prior to that?
I was a substitute teacher for...
The problem with finding Cooper is that he is most assuredly probably asleep by now. I think he probably wanted to go to sleep, and I had moved his cage earlier today from the spot it was in to a side room. So he usually goes and sleeps on top of it, but I think he would have picked a new spot. And it's almost impossible to find a bird this big until they decide to come out. So I will continue to check around, but I don't know.
Early education.
I don't know if he's...
And how long did you do that?
Maybe a month or two. Not very long. And then before that, I've been unemployed. I've been living off disability, essentially. I'm disabled.
Okay, why are you disabled? From what?
I have a bunch of things. Primarily PTSD.
From what?
Okay.
Here we
Now-
go. Okay, so I want to skip his comments, but we're getting into the meat. She's disabled. She can't work. Why? Big sigh. Primarily PTSD, she says. Now, I want to take a moment to remind everyone that there was a journal, and I'll try to find the photo. There's a journal with big kind of loopy writing where she talks about somebody talks about seeing their perpetrator in everyone they look at, and everyone's been speculating, does this book belong to Maddie or does it belong to Jen? And it also contains a bunch of doodles of private parts. I had been watching Dr. Gary Bercato, a profiler, and a few others who are saying, well, that it's likely the 13-year-old. But I think in this case, no, based on what we know about, like, she was more child-minded. I don't think that was happening. And now what we're about to hear from Jen, I'm pretty danged sure this book, this journal, this memo pad, composition journal is hers.
This is another one of the times my chin hit the floor.
I'll keep you posted.
Now,
I'm
they
worried too. I
redacted
think
it
that I do.
out.
I worry.
but it doesn't take a
There's 2 million little
genius
shells
to
from
figure out what she's talking about, because there's still enough left in it that you can figure it out. But this is why she has PTSD and on disability.
And then before that, I've been unemployed. I've been living off disability, essentially. I'm disabled.
Okay, why are you disabled? From what?
I have a bunch of things.
Great big sigh.
Primarily PTSD.
From what?
So PTSD, bipolar 2, generalized anxiety.
There's your confirmation.
Waiting until it's time to pick her up from school again. She was my entire life. Everything I did was, my everyday was for her.
Now you have a little bit of what we've been hearing in all of the other interviews, right? That little,
So-
you can hear her voice cracking up.
The distinction between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 is that bipolar 2 includes a pattern of depressive episodes and hypomanic episodes, but not full-blown manic episodes. So she doesn't get the mania. She is hypomanic and sleeps a lot. Okay. I don't know. That's an often like generalized sort of diagnosis that can be a misdiagnosis that's sort of labeled other things that way.
A little bit, but it gets.
Hang out. Say Maddie's at school and you two wanted to hang out, or the three of you wanted to hang out. Like, what would you guys do? Like, where would you go? Or
Primarily Disney. We have Disney annual pass holders. We both worked for Disney at one point. Well, at least he worked there at one point. I still work there. But we go to Disney. We go to Disney, or we stay at home and like they would play board games, or we'd watch. Well, we loved watching movies. We would always have family time and just watch a new movie. Like, I felt like it was one of our projects to make sure that she watched all the good movies from the 80s and 90s that we grew up watching. I just wanted her to like have the knowledge of pop culture. So we, that's what we watched with her, was Sister Act.
when was that?
Sunday night.
All right. I value that too.
Would you go out to like,
Sorry about these pictures. It's part of the silence.
eat anywhere, like a favorite restaurant or anything like that?
After this, we'll see.
The only restaurant I think we frequented a handful of times
Nasty.
in the last year is
Hey,
La Mexicana.
Good evening.
It's on
The one
off of
in
Columbia.
We got Stephan
Honestly,
Sterns,
living on
Jen Soto,
disability and then his income at Disney, like,
Maddie.
it wasn't enough to survive. we really didn't eat out often. We couldn't afford it.
Would you go like visit any parks or other than not Disney parks, but like neighborhood parks or anything like that?
No, we'd hang out right here at this lake. Maddie really liked hanging out at this lake and just drawing, sitting on one of the benches and drawing. Any other park? No, not really.
Now, what if it was just you and him? Say going out on a date or wherever. Where would you guys typically go?
So, due to money, hardly ever went out on a date. Honestly, we hardly went out on dates. There's only one date I can think
Where's
of.
that tattoo his mom, Deb Sterns, was talking about? And she said, well, I told him, if you don't get any tattoos as a teen, I'll pay for one when you turn 18. And that is their family crest, the Sterns. Family crest. Oh, like everybody's so welcoming. You guys are awesome.
We went on, and that was like years ago at the beginning of our relationship where we went to
I
Disney.
know.
Springs and
I'm
to the
sorry.
end.
They're almost over.
I don't think we've had many date nights, just him and me. It's always been the three of us doing something, going to dinner, going to Disney Springs.
Really. I think what they're showing us here is like cop impression, so he can't claim it was something other than it was.
We visit Disney Springs sometimes, often, well, not often, but sometimes. We really
I want
like
to comment that I
that
don't have
restaurant,
pause on these
Burger.
nasty pictures. Don't let me go past.
Jane really enjoyed it there.
You're a cute little bluebird.
No. The dynamic between you three. I know you told me that sometimes you and her would sleep in the bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay, that makes you want to hurl. I'm so sorry. This is seriously going to make everyone want to hurl. Trigger warning. Nobody knows what's up with this woman's judgment. It's not motherly. Something's wrong.
The three of you would sleep in the bed, and then sometimes you would send him and her to a bedroom so you can get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
How long has that been going on?
Okay, so
Silence.
I'm going to say back in June. It was primarily the three of us sleeping in bed together all the time.
And why? How did that start?
Maddie has always slept in the bed with me. She's always slept in my room. Only when we lived.
Except we know that's not true. She's going to explain why. And she's going to tell us that she had her own room.
In that apartment in Northport, did she have her own bedroom? And we could afford for her to have her own room. So that was the only time she's actually had her own room. Here, she's always shared a room with me. When she was a baby, she had her own bedroom here for a few years. But once she got older and we started having roommates and all that stuff, she started just staying with me in my bedroom.
Okay, does anyone see anything wrong with this? Like it's upside down backwards day. When she was a baby, she had her own room. When she started getting older, when she started having roommates, that's when the child doesn't need privacy or her own room anymore. Now, I've gone over this before, but 100% it's okay for a kid to have a room with siblings. It's okay for a kid to have a room with a mom. Sleeping in the bed, was sleeping till 13 with the boyfriend. Somewhere, I don't know where, we crossed the line to not okay, right?
Stephan.
Yeah, she was
during the times that we did live with Stephan, it would be the three of us
started
in this bed down here, down in the master bedroom. It wasn't until June of last year that we had broken up, and I said, okay, I don't want to sleep in the same bed with you. Please move upstairs. And he moved.
More than that, there's a text message police found and showed her. It's another interview, and it's a text from Jen to Stephan, and it says, "I'm not going to have Maddie sleep with me anymore. I can't afford to risk it." We know Stephan's mom, Deb, was telling her not to do it. I can't afford to risk it. What does that mean? What does that mean? And why, in fact, did she risk it after she said that?
Upstairs.
There's Dad. There's
At this point, Maddie pretty much slept with me all the time. I think I can count. I think I can count maybe on one hand how many times she's gone upstairs to sleep with him alone. Because
hey guys, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, awesome. Join me, Pete, and Cooper. Arthur's down there too. On these reactions, we have been following this case. We do a lot of other cases. Please support by liking and subscribing. I'm so happy you're here today.
I wasn't comfortable with it. I was like, no, this it doesn't look right. Like, it just doesn't seem right. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. Maddie, you got to sleep with me. And I've told him that. But there were times that they'd beg for sleepovers. Like, please, we just want to stay up late watching movies. And I would be too tired to stay up late. So
I think I've heard other people say this, but it's intensely frustrating to me how Jen continues to verbally blame Maddie. They begged for sleepovers. Weird.
I would say, fine, go ahead and do it. But just this once, like.
When did you start becoming comfortable with it?
This is going to get you guys. I know it.
I don't know if I was ever comfortable with it.
This is so softly. I don't know if I was ever comfortable with it.
But you told them to go Sunday night to go sleep together.
I did. That was a selfish move on my part.
I did that. Oh, my bad. I did. What?
I wanted a good night's sleep. I didn't want her kicking me or rolling into me or waking me up, or to hear her alarm so that it woke me up. I wanted to keep sleeping until I needed to sleep, because I just had not, with my training schedule, I have not had a good night's sleep. My medication was out of whack. I was feeling funny and not like myself. And I knew that I needed another night's sleep and my medication in my body, like, ASAP, so I needed to go to bed. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't even comfortable sending her that night, but I just did it for my own selfish reasons.
Wow.
Okay. Did you know?
That sounds to me
Redacted.
That's I think I skipped through, didn't I? That still sounds to me like somebody who's covering more than making an admission and humbling.
You see, right here.
Where were we? We're back here, right? What pictures were we on these?
Yeah. I wasn't even comfortable sending her that night, but I just did it for my own selfish reasons.
Okay.
All right. I want to give Jen some, I said I was going to extend some grace and try to give her the benefit of the doubt. And so what I will say is that when you're on medication for mental illness, it's made to change your mindset, change your tolerances for risk, fear, anxiety, all those things. It could have been messing with her instincts. It can have really powerful effects. So it can also like make you not feel like yourself. And she does say a lot of the time, I don't feel like myself. So I think that there's some validity to that her judgment was out of whack when she was in the state. But this is no defense. That is no defense. That's extending. That's reaching out on a very weak limb to give her that credit.
Did you know?
I'm again, I'm just trying to do it from the
Redacted.
mental health perspective. Okay, here come the waterworks. And I just don't.
The stepdaughter or the dad.
Watch how fast they turn on and turn off. So after everything I just said, with all that said, I don't believe these waterworks. I want to believe them, but I don't. They turn on like a button and right back off like like somebody who's trying to use him for purpose, not like somebody who managed to roil down their emotions. And they get too big too fast. Something is very odd about it.
Grooms the child, and the child turns 18 and ends up running away. Or
wait, this is key.
Had not
Sorry,
with my training schedule. I have had
Listen,
I have not had.
This is the biggest bombshell of the entire video.
A good night's sleep. My medication was out of whack. I was feeling funny and not like myself. And I knew that I needed another night's sleep and my medication in my body like ASAP, so I needed to go to bed. So that was, I wasn't even comfortable sending her that night, but I just did it for my own selfish reasons.
He's going to give a big reveal.
Okay. Did you know?
Redacted. Thank you, everybody, so much for this.
And this is the docket.
He's never said anything to you or anything about it.
If anything, I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18.
Okay.
What the F? She starts this whiny voice and she says, I've always told him that my biggest fear was that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter falls for it, and she starts to once again blame Maddie. And then she changes it where the dad grooms, the stepdad grooms, and the daughter falls for it. No. That was your gut lady telling you something very wrong is happening here, because it's normal for kids to talk about wanting to marry their parent. It's normal for kids to show adoration for their parent and be a daddy's girl. But if something was telling you this is going into that Woody Allen zone, that was your gut. That was your gut screaming at you. That was your failure as a parent to listen. Like, what is... Okay. Sorry, that's my soapbox.
Now, it kind of...
We don't... Again, you can go to his...
Was my biggest fear, and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
you can't do that to me, she says. Yes, Spinster is super cute. Madeline's so... I mean, let's just take a moment to appreciate that she had a really difficult life and she's smiling. And I don't think I could smile if I was living that way. That's nuts. And she's, she's a sweet kid. And her mom, this mom never talks nicely about her. She just doesn't watch him. She's not going to say one nice
Why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man. And like,
what happened with the mom?
I did not completely 100% trust the man, but in my, like, the logic in my head was saying, he's been in your life for 7 years. Nothing's happened. He hasn't shown you anything that he's weird or that he's done or that he's interested in her or said anything about her body.
Not true. I guarantee it's not true, because where did that fear come from? It is not a normal average fear for a woman to have with this a stepfather role figure who's been in their life for 7 years. Is anybody here had that problem? I thought never once has that fear gone through my mind. Not once. Like, of all the problems in my life ever I've experienced, that's just not one of them.
Or talk to her about her in any specific way that like freaked me out. He's never said anything like that or shown me.
Yes, Spencer, exactly. She knew, even if she didn't know she knew. And that's kind of how we know things, right? Like this psychology and the study of decision making and awareness says we know things before we know them, and that's really what your gut is. So she says, I always feared this. She didn't want to know what she knew, right? She knew. Denial.
Any of those signs, so I thought I could trust him, that he was safe. That
the signs were subtle, and she was looking for more, for louder signs.
He was a good guy, and that he was taking care of my baby and loved her the way I loved her, but I was wrong.
You hear that? The way that her voice lilted up? I was wrong. It's her little victim tone. That is hard to listen to. That's her pity me voice.
Yes, because.
And what that voice is a plea for reaction. It's validate me. Give me a verbal sign or some kind of a sign that you buy what I'm saying, right? Request for acknowledgement, demand for approval. These are different terms that people use for that. Social psychology.
You may think he was
We all
whatever.
Maddie,
I know.
Here come the tears. Here come the tears.
Again, we're watching.
Grab your tissue.
Courtesy of the Docket that got this from a FOIA request, so his comments are in here. There's Maddie as a baby, and here's Jen suddenly. Is this real?
Why?
Because of the evidence, because of photos, because of what you're telling me. Because he's clearly a liar. I want to hope my daughter's alive and out there, that she was taken. I don't know anyone.
Well, I can
Does not feel real to me.
be fairly confident.
It's about to turn off. Sniff, 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 like a few more beats, and it's going to be over.
That a stranger did not take Maddie. The only person she was with was Stephan.
See how fast sobbing went to a sigh? A sigh. She's trying to sell him. This is a sale.
Why would he go to Northport?
I don't know. I don't know what's in Northport other than his parents. Did you know he was going to Northport?
So they have revealed to her that, let me just give you a 10-second catch up. Something that we know from another video you wouldn't know if we didn't see it. Stephan and Jen had to leave the house because it was a crime scene. So they called up Stephan's dad and said, quick, we need a hotel, which of course he funded. He actually only paid the pet fee. And that night they all went to sleep at the hotel. And when Jen was asleep, apparently Stephan drove up to Northport, which is hours away, and then drove back. And they were trying to figure out why he did it. I'm not sure we know if it ever came out why he did it, but that seemed to shock her and shake her into realizing maybe he's not what he is trying to present he is, or maybe he's dangerous.
I thought,
yeah,
when I woke up and he wasn't in the hotel, I thought,
okay, so he wasn't there when she woke up.
I thought he had gone to the Target Plaza right next door to the hotel we were staying at, because he likes to go shopping when he's stressed.
She has a convenient habit of not asking questions, doesn't she? When she doesn't want to know the answer. She just constructs a reality she wants. Now, some of us have been there, but I don't think we can just blow it off as a personal self-development matter when your child's gone. Like,
but that's not what happened according to you guys. He actually went all the way to Northport and came back.
So when he gets stressed, he likes to go shopping.
Yeah.
Okay, did he tell you he was going shopping on Monday?
It's effed up, because if she didn't have active knowledge and it was in the back of her head, she's going to have to come to terms with that one day. One day, she's going to wish she died. You know, she's just going to, like, if it ever hits her, if it has not hit her, and it does, oh, I wouldn't want to live through that.
He was going to go stop at a few game shops to see if they had any Lorcana cards for sale.
Here's my problem, and I've seen
remotes.
They're pulling in and out. That's 100 feet.
Miles.
And you know for a fact this is where he went?
That's where he
better
told
than
me.
Stephan
Yeah.
Sterns,
If,
right?
if it's any vape shop, it's this vape shop. And
Why that one? Why
The vape shop thing, again, is a red herring. It means nothing. It's like the McDonald's thing.
that specific one?
he likes the brand, the e-smoker company. And that's where he gets all of his vape stuff. He won't go to any other vape shop around here. He goes to that one.
What time is this vape shop supposed to open?
Yeah.
Does it say on there? Kyle?
10 a.m.
Okay. When you guys are here, are you guys assigned garage remotes for the? How many of those do you have?
I have one. Stephan has one. I'm not sure if Angelica or Natalie have one.
I mean, is it something you keep in your pocket or?
I keep in my car.
What about Stephan?
I think sometimes he leaves it in the car. Sometimes he brings it in with himself. It depends.
Why would he bring it inside?
I'm not sure.
Does that seem normal to you? To bring a garage remote inside the house?
He's a spacey dude. So is she. So
But he said that morning he left the house. He said that morning he left the house and then
we're about to see this is somebody who's like totally out of touch with priorities. Like looking, and when I think about it again, it's very difficult to do. I tend to want to tar and feather her. It's just my instinct as a person. I'm like on a human level, I'm a little offended by these actions, right? From a mental health perspective, I see somebody who is dissociated at the expense of her child, yes, but dissociated and shut off, just unaware.
returned again because he forgot the garage clicker, so he came back to get the clicker.
And to be ingenerous, I think she coveted and she was very jealous of her daughter. I really think she was jealous of her daughter. And as soon as Maddie hit puberty or earlier, with Stephan, who knows, I think at some point Jen started seeing her own daughter as someone to compete with, as competition. That's what I get from the Woody Allen comments and repeatedly saying it's her biggest fear. I understand having hangups. There's a lot of, damage and pain and hangups that, are something that you can love someone through. This is so dangerous, this one, the way she knows, but she won't face it. And the stakes are so high.
I don't know how true that is.
I know. You would know.
That was odd.
You would know.
He's a very forgetful guy. I don't fucking know what to think of him.
Oh, he's a very forgetful guy. I don't fucking know. She drops a curse bomb for the first time. I don't fucking know. What is that? Offense at him? Offense at being questioned about him? She's sick of creating a narrative around him. I don't know what to think of him anymore. Well, she knew what to think of him a minute ago. She just speculated openly.
Anymore. I don't know if he's lying. I don't know.
All right. So you're.
Yeah, Stephanie. Oh my God, she is.
All around.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what just happened? The room doubled and then emptied. Doubled. I don't think the count is right. It can't be. There it is. It's off. Okay.
That's Maddie asleep in the car.
Maddie's not asleep in the car.
Okay. Pay attention, perk up, and listen.
Shh. Did you hear that? Listen.
Perk up and listen.
He's a very forgetful guy. I don't fucking know what to think of him anymore. I don't know if he's lying. I don't know.
Not showing.
All right. So you're all around.
Yeah.
I know what to do that thing.
That's Maddie asleep in the car.
He just showed her a picture. That's Maddie asleep in the car, she said. He didn't ask her, what am I looking at? He didn't ask her, what is this? She offered up the description.
Maddie's not asleep in the car.
What do you mean? She's
Do you
dead?
believe Maddie's asleep there?
Is she dead?
Boys,
I don't know.
Could you hear what she said?
she said it very quietly and I talked over it, but she whispered, is she dead? She whispered, is she dead? And those tears, notice those tears? They'll be gone in a flash.
It's really low. That's boosted.
Yeah.
Did you hear what she said?
She knew, I think she knew, but again, wouldn't admit it to herself. And that again is the most generous I can be with her. Not that she didn't actually know, but that maybe she wouldn't let it enter her cognitive awareness at best.
She's
Do you
dead?
believe
Found out
Maddie's
she was
asleep
a
there?
very funny typo. It's okay.
Is she dead?
I don't know.
Is she dead?
We don't know where she's at.
Is she dead? It sounds like play acting to me. Like she's pretending she doesn't know, right? Is she trying to remember to pretend she doesn't know that she's not asleep? Yeah, let's just pause and think about this for a second. This is not in theory. This is not just a conversation. She has been physically handed a photo. You can hear the papers rustling. He hands her a picture. She is looking at the remains of her daughter and she's like, oh, is she dead? You can't be medicated enough. There's no world in which you can be medicated enough. I remember the night my father died. And it was just a horrible experience. I mean, I was in such a bad place. And I said, I do not want to be awake. I don't want to be conscious. I don't want to remember. I took a Valium. I'd never had it before. And I was still hysterical all night. You know, I mean, I suffer from anxiety. I do. And you can have an anti-anxiety, have you pass out before you just stop feeling the anxiety. That can happen. But I don't know about what other like bipolar stuff she's got going on or the effect on that.
Now, I will tell you, she's processing that, right?
Yeah,
She's
is
processing that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Stardust. You know, it's people who have real grief, have really grieved. Know that you can't numb it off that way. You just can't. I mean, you can't make it catatonic, but you can't. She wouldn't be able to have this conversation and be functional, feel nothing if she had a normal sense of. I don't know. We know she's not normal. I'm not trying to shame her mental illness. I'm just saying mental illness doesn't make you and doesn't justify total neglect this way. It doesn't. But there should have been some kind of intervention here with the two families that knew. But what exactly could they do? I don't know. Maybe I've tried to talk to her a little more. Maybe been insistent about this. She sounds like no one's ever brought it up. Is it somewhat cultural? Is it a little more normally cultural to go sleep in other cultures? That's a real question. I don't know. Spencer says it does seem like Jen had already come to terms with Maddie's unaliving with her reaction. Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? It's like somebody who's not like genuinely surprised.
Now listen.
I'd wait for her to be laying down sleeping.
Yeah.
I boosted that as loud as I could, but she's still that soft spoken.
What did she say?
Is she dead?
I don't know. We don't know where she's at.
Of course he knows. He just told her she's not asleep. Of course he knows. But he's dialing it back to draw her out, to see if he can get a reaction out of her. And he's getting more and more frustrated with this reaction. Sigh, panic, anxiety, fear. What do they know? What can I say?
She says that's an odd way for her to be laying down sleeping. I know it's hard to hear. I apologize, but I cranked it up as loud as my program could go. She says that's an odd way for her to be laying sleeping.
Yeah, she declared it. But they know, everybody knows that the position she was in didn't look like sleeping to anyone. But yet she just declared it. Like, oh, I know what you're showing me. She sounded more surprised that they were telling her or she was unalive, or like I don't know if she was thinking she was supposed to pretend like she doesn't know how she's supposed to come off, what she's supposed to be surprised at, what she's not sure. I'm getting tired, you guys. I don't know how long I can go.
So this is at 7:30 in the morning. Ish.
Trying to hit all the highlights. A snap will help me go.
But
she says that's way too early.
Yeah, no, that's way too Sherlock. They've been talking this whole time about how you made every excuse in the book for being so early.
Attendance record.
First, it was all about wanting to go to McDonald's, and a thing about why they didn't go to McDonald's. Why? Because he couldn't get that close. He can't go to a drive-thru with an unalive girl in the passenger seat. He can't make a record of having gone to McDonald's, right? Can't risk getting out of the car and leaving her there. Yeah. No, he didn't. He didn't, Stardust. What they did was they got traffic cams that caught him driving with her unalive in the passenger seat strapped in. And her neck was kind of slumped over. And it was obvious to investigators when they saw that. You might remember early press conferences when they said, we're no longer looking for her alive. We're looking for remains. And we're looking through a lot of video and, we're close here. That's what they were finding. They were finding the dash cam and traffic cam and not dash cam, traffic cam and cameras nearby that of other stores and things like that caught them going by. And once they saw that, they were like, oh my God, she is gone. Can you imagine being the detective working that case and you see that picture and you're like, it's like, okay, this is not meant to make a joke out of it, but like, what's that movie? Bernie, the dead guy they're driving around in the car trying to pretend he's alive, right? Remember that old classic Weekend at Bernie's? Remember, does anybody getting the vibes like that about Stephan Sterns doing that? Except in the most reversed, unfunny, disgusting to God way possible, right? The worst spin imaginable. Okay, Spinster, speaking of spinning, Spinster says, it is mind-boggling to me that Maddie could be propped up in the seat unalive. Like, how do you feel at stoplights with other drivers around you like that? Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. It's like he's just twiddling his thumbs like, everybody act normal here. She's just sleeping. If I just act normal, everyone will believe it. That he didn't take the risk to go to McDonald's. And he felt like it was such a big exposure point for him that he went on and on and on about not going to McDonald's. And it made him seem suspicious. Made it seem worse than if he hadn't gone on about it. Okay, let's catch up on a few more comments and keep going. Oh my God, right? Oh my, I told you, why did I tell you that I warned you fairly enough and square that there were going to be shocking moments that get your heart rate up and maybe your sweat glands going and make you want to start like hitting things. If you're maybe not, maybe you're more civilized than I am. Yeah, you're welcome. Explaining. Yeah, I'm fairly familiar with this case now. I think that I understand it the best I could understand it with public records. Yeah, but you know what? I think that there is a value to this case beyond justice for Maddie. I think there's a value to it in that it can be a wake-up call, and it can be a cautionary tale for somebody like this who's being groomed or watching grooming and allowing it when they know in their heart what's really happening. A lesson to call it out, to trust their gut, to say, no, this is not as simple or as innocent as it seems. Something weird about this, right? Don't be Jen Soto, right? In the best version of her, if we give her all the credit in the world, don't be the woman who is such an easy prey.
Let's rewind it. It's raw, and it's punching her right in the mouth.
He's right about that.
I can't tell what he's holding. I don't know if it's a plastic bag full of stuff or...
The only thing we can hope for her and call it justice is the truth to come out for her. That's the only justice you get. Is the truth to maybe exactly to save someone in the future. Because somebody out here is watching this who needs to be watching it, who sees themselves maybe in a little of Jen's denial. And that's okay. Don't hate yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You're not evil. But it's time to wake up. It's time to start now. Forget about before. Just start from right here, right now. And let yourself slowly wake up. It'll hurt at first, like the tingling when you move your foot and the blood starts flowing. But let it happen. Let the tingling come in and wake up to your life before you lose something that you can't get back. Okay, that's my soapbox about that.
Inside of that bag is Maddie's backpack, Maddie's school computer, and one of her Crocs.
One of her Crocs. Remember I told you in the picture of her bedroom that one Croc is sitting out there in a pile of shoes? And she left with Crocs, and it didn't, nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that supposedly the shoes she was supposedly wearing when she left, one of them was sitting right there on the pile. Does that seem sus to you? Should someone notice that? They're all giving interviews. Yeah, she was wearing Crocs. She was wearing Crocs. She was wearing Crocs. Right behind them in the interview, there's the Croc. Just one, though. And remember when she was found unalive, her socks were pristine. She had been carried. She'd not walked anywhere. Animals treat their young better. Some do. Some are quite brutal. I like my soapbox. Oh, thank you. It smells so clean and fresh. And pumpkin-y.
Are you telling me we're looking for a body right now?
We're looking for Maddie, absolutely. 100% we're looking for her.
No. It's most likely she's not alive.
I don't know. I can't answer that. I have a feeling.
I don't know. It was in a pile of shoes in the mom's bedroom. So I don't know how would it have ended up that way. If she was I think she was never wearing the Crocs when she left. But obviously one of them ended up in the trash. So it's like maybe he didn't know where the other one was until it was too late. And then he hoped they didn't notice. I can't make sense of that one yet. If anybody figures that out, please help me make sense of that. It's glaring at me. Like there's got to be a reason that happened that way for somebody who tried to cover his tracks. Why did that happen that way? I want to
feeling
know.
That you and Stephan have some sort of communication on places he likes to go, or so, because some of the questions that I ask, it seems like you almost not cover up for him, but kind of defend him or have answers to some of these questions.
Explain.
Because I want you to have more further insight as to why he
And I
might do
appreciate
things.
that. But you saying he's forgetful and all
Maddie
that
too.
stuff.
I just want you to understand, like, we're all the same. We're both we're all very forgetful. We're all very time blind. It's just part of our ADHD. I just want you to know, like,
What kind of grades does she make at school? Not great?
No, there was one.
What
term
about
once.
her attendance record?
she's got a lot of doctor's appointments that we've gone
What do you
to, so she's got a lot of absences.
Are they excused or unexcused?
I want to say for the most part excused. Every time we take her to a doctor's office, I bring a note.
Do you know that for sure, or we're working on getting her school attendance record? I'm just wondering if you being a parent, I would hope that you would know kind of like what her, because I know my daughter's school that if any of them miss one period or 2 periods or something like that, they will call me and say, hey, such and such missed periods 3 or missed period 7 or something like that.
They don't do that. They send out an email and a voicemail, like an automated voicemail, saying your child was absent today from Hunter
That's
Street
what I
Middle
just said.
School. But not period 1, 2, 3. And it's not early in the morning like some other states do. It's late in the evening at 5 o'clock, or it's really late.
Totally after the fact.
Yeah, totally after. Like, it's.
Have you got a lot of those phone calls of her missing class?
You're just getting here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
While it's redacted
making-
right there, I want to say
But that calmed down over the last few months. It got even better when Stephan moved out and went to Northport. Maddie and I were actually seeing a therapist together to try to, like, work through our issues because we were having problems communicating.
Well, I see that, and to me, that I see there is that she's trying to normalize the aberrant behavior. I'm saying we're all like that. We all do it. It's just part of being ADHD. So she's normalizing the behavior that really isn't normal, and really isn't. I know my best friend is ADHD. I'm a little ADHD. I may lose my phone a lot, like run around searching for where did I set it down, but I don't leave my phone a lot. Certainly not. There's a big difference between the two.
So, yeah.
So, Stephan, tell me about his.
Yeah.
I know you say he likes to play board games and
She sees her as
all that
competition.
stuff. Is he like. What else does he like to do for fun?
And Stephan's really a child. Like he had a traumatic brain injury, and he seems to have frozen in development in many ways at that age, at 8 years old. And so he's still playing all these Warhammer games and just into these things that aren't mature. And I'm not sure that he's capable of those things and that higher cognitive functioning because of the developmental problems he has. And that again is, it almost aches to be so generous and graceful.
He's a collector. He collects.
Play sports or anything like that?
No, he collects games and hobbies.
He's a collector. Doesn't that make him sound creepy? He's another kind of collector too, but she wasn't ready to admit that yet. Or did she sort of when she said it that way? He's a collector. Games and hobbies. Yeah, okay, we know he collects playing cards and stuff like that, but he seems to collect other things too, things that are sacred, things that are not his to collect.
He collects, do you know what Tamagotchis are?
Mm-hmm.
He collects Tamagotchis. He's got so many of those. Digimons, lightsabers.
Does he like to go camping? Does he like to go to the beach or any of that stuff?
No, the beach gives him makes him self-conscious because he doesn't like how his body looks. He calls himself flabby. But, no, he's not an outdoorsy person. He doesn't play sports. He doesn't like the beach. Okay, he used to... Okay,
They're trying to get her to think of places that he would have put Madeline's remains. That's what they're trying to get her to do. What kind of places does he go? Where does he like? Like, where would he have gone with her? And they're getting nothing from her. Oh, that'd be so frustrating. So Stardust, it makes me sick how much she dotes on that piece of crap. Who cares about what he collects? Right? She's like trying to parent him. It's almost like he gets a mom in her and a love interest in her daughter. It's so perverted. Spinster says he was spoiled by his parents. He was a failure to launch and felt inadequate as a man. I totally agree. I actually did a part 1 on the interview with his parents, and we'll be doing a part 2. And I have some others in this collection. So definitely remember to sub and check out those other playlists because we talk about that. He was a failure to launch. And his parents, his mom especially, just treat him like he's, just too precious. Nobody's good enough. I understand being protective. If your child had a, brain injury and they have different needs and, maybe he needs some more help doing things that others can do alone. But it's not help. It's catty. You'll see.
Back a few years ago,
Welcome.
I used to own a scooter, an electric scooter, and he owned something called a one wheel, which is like kind of like a scooter but with one big round wheel in the middle. We would take that and ride around. The Kissimmee Trail connects back here, so we'd take that to the Kissimmee Bridge, do that trail over there, come back, or also go into Shingle Creek, cross the street, across Hoagland, go behind an apartment complex, and we end up in Shingle Creek. We would ride all of that and explore all of that wetlands and greenery back there. But we haven't done that in a while. We haven't owned scooters or electronic devices in a few years.
Okay.
It's messy.
Tell me about, you said there was an apartment in Northport.
Yeah.
Is that Stephan's mom's?
I'm going to grab a snack so I can stay awake a little longer.
We rented our own separate apartment.
Okay, where was that?
Keep playing. I'll keep
Obviously
listening and
Northport,
be
but
shouting.
you remember the complex name?
Let me see.
Leave for like 5 minutes.
And how long ago was that?
This was back in 2020.
Okay.
I don't remember the month we moved in, but we moved out in November of 2020. We were there somewhere between 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Let me see if I have there.
Was it just you three there?
Yes, it was just the 3 of us.
Okay. Is Northport, I've never been there. Is it a big city, small city?
I'm sorry. So the apartment we used to live in is in the town next door over. It's called Port Charlotte, Florida.
Okay.
That's a small town. Northport, even smaller, I would say. But Northport being more popular because it's attached to Sarasota County, so it has more people living in it. Charlotte County is pretty small.
Is it rural?
I mean, there was a city center, and there was a Tamiami Trail ran through it.
Okay.
So, major road, lots of businesses, lots of shops. So, no, I mean, it's out in the middle of nowhere, but...
Fun fact is Northport is the 3rd largest city in the state of Florida, square miles wise.
Yeah, it's big. The name of the apartment complex I used to live in is called Charleston K.
Does it still exist today? Is that still what it's called?
I'm not sure. I can Google.
And you don't know him to still own it or rent it?
No, because it was under my name. The apartment
It was under your name?
Yeah, and I'm the one who gave up the lease.
Okay.
As far as I know, it still exists.
Oh, Charleston K like that. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And you guys, so you were in that apartment for roughly 6 to 8 months, you said, right?
Yes.
Did you live in Port Charlotte or Northport for longer?
No, we immediately
Only that time
Only
frame.
that time we moved right back.
Okay. And what would you guys typically do around there?
We did absolutely nothing. It was during quarantine time, so we were very afraid of COVID, very afraid of going to the store and doing anything. We stayed home, watched movies, watched a lot of Netflix, played a lot of board games. But that was about it. We didn't. Sometimes we'd go to the beach, Venice Beach.
Yep.
But that's about it. We didn't really go anywhere.
Not much stuff outdoors during that time frame?
No, just Venice Beach.
Okay. When did you realize that he went to Northport recently?
When one of the officers told me.
Okay. So, what night was that?
Last night.
So they told you last night, or he went last night?
They told me last night that he had went earlier that morning to Northport with my car.
Okay. Were you guys staying at the hotel together?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you not notice him gone? Did you sleep through it?
I slept through it. I went to sleep around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And I did not wake up until 9. And that's when I noticed he was gone. And I called Stephan's dad, Chris, who was in the same hotel. And I said, "Hey, is Stephan with you?" He goes, "No, he's not with you." And I'm like, "No, he must have left and my car keys are gone." He's like, "Oh." I'm just like, maybe he ran out to get some food, or maybe he ran out to get something, or to Target. And he's like, "Okay, we'll just give him a little bit to wait."
Why didn't you call him directly?
Stephan?
You have a phone?
I don't think he had a phone.
Okay.
And I think his dad eventually did give him a phone for him to use, but that was later that morning, and I was never given that phone number either, so I never had a way to contact him.
Okay. Why do you think he would go there?
I was told he went into a storage unit. I have no freaking clue what he would be getting in a storage unit or hiding.
Do you know about the storage unit?
I have heard of the storage unit. I've always known Chris or his parents to always have storage units. They own a lot of shit. They're kind of a little bit like hoarders, but they own a lot of stuff. They have, I think, a few storage units, or they did. I think they may have condensed down to just one, maybe. But yeah, I've always known them to have storage units.
Making pumpkin bites.
Okay. And
Don't
if you were
judge
to
me.
leave from Kissimmee, what way would I go to get to Northport or Port Charlotte?
I-4 down to 75 to exit 179, I think, Toledo Blade Road.
Toledo Blade?
Yeah.
Totally, right? Suddenly she has a
It
clear
goes right off the highway.
soliloquy. I can never say that word right.
Did you see him when he got back eventually?
Yes.
Did you ask him?
Yeah, where the fuck he was. I'm like, an officer's coming right now to interview us. Where the fuck have you been? This would have looked terrible if you weren't there. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I went out to go get some food and I found a Wawa and then I got turned around and I got lost and then I made it my way back here." And we're like, "Oh, okay." Not fucking thinking anything other.
I need somebody to tell me what the hell is a Wawa?
What is, in fact, a Wawa? The people want to know. I need to know.
What is a Wawa?
Somebody spill. Somebody's got to know. A Wawa.
Than just believing him. I feel like
okay.
so stupid because I don't know how long
It's like a
he's
big
probably been lying to me about the stupidest shit for the longest time. Like I'm
Whoa.
So
They've probably been lying to me about the stupidest shit. Who is they? Who is they that Jennifer is talking about? She's talking about Maddie and Stephan. She thinks she's in on it and planning something. They've been lying for the longest time. Like she's the only one who doesn't know they're out to get her. What is going on that she's revealing? Do you hear what I hear?
he said he went out to get food.
yeah. And he came back with he had a cup of from Wawa. He was drinking a drink.
Do you
Remind
remember
me
what time
never
he
to
got
go
back?
there. No. Remind me I don't want it.
11:15 a.m.
Okay, so you were up around 9ish. You just told me.
Yeah.
So from the time you were up, by the time you got back, roughly 2 hours.
5 nights are ice
Okay,
cream.
and he came back with a Wawa cup.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's how I do.
So during that time frame, he tells you he's been lost, got turned around, essentially.
Yeah. So he had no way.
For 2 hours.
Yeah, he didn't have a phone. He didn't know how to get back to the hotel room. That's obviously bullshit.
Yes, it is.
Did you tell him that?
No, but no, I'm speaking as from what I know right now. That's obviously bullshit. From what I was told by one of you guys, or from what I kind of calculated, he must have left the house in order for him to make this round trip to Northport and make it back by 11. He must have left 5 to 6 hours ago. So I'm just like, that makes it like 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I don't know, something like that. I'm just like, so he waited for me to fall asleep and then he left.
And you said you went to bed
Yeah.
around what time?
3:30, 4 o'clock.
100%.
He waited for me to fall asleep and he fucking left.
Okay, I get that part. Are you
Yeah,
100% that you went to sleep around that time?
Oh, that's what you're asking me. I thought you were confirming.
Now she's mad. But does anyone find it odd how this is the first time we've seen anger displayed from her toward him, even though she already knew all the other things he did to her daughter? No anger. She did that whole give me pity sort of tone, but no anger. So the anger is probably the area where it's more real. Just saying.
Me like 100% that's what he's doing. Trying to see if there's any way I can like I saw the clock saying 3:30 when I got up to go to the bathroom. I was in the bathroom for a little while and then I came back.
And he was there.
He was
Right.
there and he was asleep. So I went to bed around that time.
She doesn't ask. She doesn't want to know.
I was in the bathroom for I'm gonna say 10 to 15 minutes.
That,
I had
That
terrible dinner. and
monkey.
it just was
No
not
evil.
okay.
You're no evil.
But when I got out, he was awake. Or he was
Bring
asleep,
your
I'm sorry.
ears, moving your eyes.
He actually mentioned, oh man, I woke up really early this morning.
I think her anger is real because she's talking
Around 4.
thinking about what they did to her from that perspective. That is real anger. It's out of place because that's what she should be feeling toward him for what he did to her. But instead, she's feeling it toward them for what they did to her, as if she's the victim. It's hard. She needs a lot of therapy.
And he mentioned waking up around 4-ish because he had really bad diarrhea and used the restroom. He mentioned that the following day.
I would
And just so I'm on the same thought process, what day were you guys in the hotel?
What day were we in the hotel?
Would that have been Tuesday night?
Let me see. really late Tuesday night, so I think it was technically Wednesday morning when we checked into the hotel. It was really early.
Sorry, this is my all eating all the time hour.
But yeah, Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning.
We all apologize. I'm so impressed with it all. Going this late.
I want to divert a little bit with Maddie.
Wah 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 wah.
Never. Okay. Did she disclose to you about her? Has she had a period yet? Do you know?
Yeah.
Did she disclose to you?
Okay, perk up, listen up,
More revealed.
take a shot of
We're gonna
whatever,
repeat it.
coffee, water, orange juice, adult beverage. Perk up, listen up.
Fortified on ice
You
cream.
about that?
Yes.
So do you know her regular cycle?
I usually put it. She usually tells me when she gets it, and we put it in an app.
Mm-hmm.
I must have missed it this month, or she must have not told me this month when she got it. But I have it written down when she got it back in January.
When should she have had it this month, roughly?
The beginning of the month. She got it in January 1st. So it should have been around the end of February.
January 1st of February?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And was she pretty consistent on telling you?
Yeah, she would tell me when she would get her period. And then she'd actually also tell me every time she used the restroom. Like, Mom, success, I pooped. And I'm like, cool. Because
Right.
she's got GI issues.
And she didn't tell you about this last cycle?
No.
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 You're very welcome. Yeah, I've seen it go flying by in chat. Nothing.
Let's skip that chat and go first.
Between our department and Orange County's Sheriff's Office is that now this entire investigation is the Kissimmee Police Department's investigation. Okay. I think I told you that last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, we are probably going to start working this case as a homicide.
Okay.
You hear that? We're going to start working this case as a homicide. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's all she did. Okay.
I mean, damn it, man.
Yeah.
Because he's in jail right now for... Okay. He's in jail for that.
Mm-hmm.
But we believe he possibly has done something to Maddie. And we want to know where he would possibly go. Now, this is going to be a very difficult situation, but do you have any knowledge of what he has done with her?
I wish I could tell you, but I don't. I have no idea.
She says, no, I wish I could tell you. I have no idea. It's that was really low too. And that was either the detective's stomach or her stomach that was growling, I guess. That wasn't me.
Might have been my stomach growling.
I wish I knew.
What
I
about
wish I
me?
knew I would tell you. Having it be switched to homicide makes it official for me.
Nor do I.
Is there any more images you could show me?
Not at this time. No.
I think there's some.
She asked him if there was any more
He's
pictures that
trying to
he could
process.
show her.
And he threw away her backpack. That was her backpack in that bag.
He threw away her backpack. I have no clue what she says after that.
How long does somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me. It's so much.
How long can somebody go to jail for this? Now, why? Where? Damn it, man! Where is that question coming from? How long can somebody go to jail for this? So that tells me she's more worried about how long either maybe she's going to go to jail, or she's definitely worried about how long Stephan's going to go to jail. I mean, where did that question come from?
That was a little unexpected.
Her backpack. That was her backpack in that bag.
You're trying to make it sound like she's scared.
How long does somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me. It's so much.
If he did something to her that led in her death, yeah, he's going to prison for life. He's probably going to prison for life.
So, like, multiple life sentences, fine. Fuck him. Oh my god.
Has he tried reaching out to you from jail?
No.
Has he tried reaching out to anybody from jail?
I don't know. I talked to his dad earlier, but he didn't share much information. I don't even. Did I ask him? I can't recall if I asked him if he's reached out to him. I don't remember his conversation this morning.
It's just going weird.
Sorry.
Anything else?
We do.
All right, we are going to check on the progress that they're making inside real quick.
Did he tell you where she's at?
Yes, not.
No. I haven't spoken to, like, since when? Like, in the hotel?
Anytime.
No, never. Like,
We need to find her.
I know. I wish I knew where to tell you guys to look. I fucking wish. Like, could you show me, like, a map of where around town he was so I could point out maybe this, maybe this, maybe this?
There's too many places.
Has he ever talked about giving Maddie medication? Like any of his medication?
I don't think so, no.
You don't think so, or
No.
okay? Have you ever given her any of your medication?
She's got her own anxiety medication.
Do you double check her medication?
When we give it to her? Yeah. I make sure I grab the bottle or she grabs the bottle, but, like, somebody's got eyes on her, grabbing the pills and taking them. Like, it's a tag team situation. She's not allowed to take them alone. So we just make sure that we gotta watch her because I don't want her to accidentally grab the wrong bottle and accidentally take Adderall before bed because that sounds like a terrible idea.
How long have you guys lived in Osceola County?
On and off for 12 years.
What about Stephan?
On and off for 6.
Okay. Would you say he's pretty familiar with Osceola County? Does he venture off?
No. I know he'll visit he likes to visit gaming shops and like board game shops. Does he drive around aimlessly just to kill? I mean, just to drive? I don't think so. I think he goes out with plans.
Flipped a little there, didn't she?
Notice how she got that? He don't drive around just to kill. And she's going to say kill time. But she catches herself and changes.
St. Cloud together with her to her house.
And how do you know her? She work with you?
Yeah, she's an old coworker from 14, 15 years ago.
From Disney?
No, we used to work at a pizzeria. That was when I was a lot younger.
Are you texting her?
Would you like me to call or would you like to text?
No, I thought you were just gonna pull it up. It's off of Old Canoe Creek.
Yeah, I don't know her exact. I don't know the exact street or address or. I want to say it's actually. Hold on. If I pull up a map.
Exactly, Stardust Gem. We know the difference.
So she lives off of this road right here, Nolte Road in St. Cloud. Mm-hmm. Nolte. That's 192 right there. There's Old Canoe Creek, Nolte. She lives around there.
Would you be able to point it to me?
To which house? No.
Not the specific house, but like, is it in a neighborhood? Does she have her own land?
It is in a neighborhood. I don't remember where though. I don't know how far down. I have to drive down Nolte.
Are you familiar with Nolte?
No.
No.
No, I think I've only dropped her off at her house once.
Drop Maddie off there?
No. My friend.
Oh, your friend. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
For the address?
Yeah, let me guess.
Yeah. And what was her name?
Michelle Mason. Masson.
2 S's?
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think Stephan would know where she lives, but...
No, I'm not saying that he did, but I'm just trying to see who you would know in St. Cloud.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only person. There might be somebody else that lives, like, closer to Harmony. But that's the only people I'd know.
What does it say?
Michelle Mason, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna lie, I'm falling asleep, guys.
What part of Nolte was it on?
I'm not looking at it.
Yeah. She does almost sound
Hit that
really
thumbs up, gang, if you haven't yet.
That is.
I see that. And then Carolina Hurtado. Hello, welcome.
Steven Plantation.
Please
Steven's
like and
Plantation.
subscribe.
It is gonna be.
A Wawa is a convenience store in Florida. And I can tell Jennifer Soto tries to act pissed off right here at this part of her police interview.
But if you go on
Yeah, I
Berry
think
Place,
I agree with you.
No, it's not.
How does that woman sleep at night? We all wonder. I don't sleep at night. For all of them. I'll take it on too. Well, we're glad you're here. Well, please subscribe to our channel and like the video. Encourage us to keep doing what we're doing.
All right. Well, we're gonna check, see how they're going on inside.
Stay for the
Like what we
other
did last night. Do you swear and affirm everything that you've told us today is to the best of your knowledge will help you God?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're gonna conclude this interview. It is 6:35 p.m.
Okay, work.
Okay, the next interview is on.
We're gonna stop it here instead of going through because I'm wiped out. So we'll do part 2 tomorrow, or just as soon as I can. And my dog needs feeding and all the things, and I'm falling asleep. So I think I'm gonna call it here. Okay. Thanks everybody for hanging out, trying to put together Madeline's story and speak her truth. It's pretty cool that so many people care. I will keep sharing with you the stories and my take and my analysis on the facts as they come out. And yeah, like, subscribe, stay salty, and stay safe. Right? Set up the next one for part 2.